Hey guys, I'm going to try and do a simple step-by-step tutorial for how to install World at War on Ubuntu. I can't imagine there'll be too many people out there that will benefit from this, but hopefully it'll help someone. There's a couple of things we need to download. You need to head over to Steam. I'll link all these websites in the description. There's only three things really. Head over to Steam, install Steam, and click get the Windows version of Steam. You'll also need to install Wine and PlayOnLinux. Like I said, I'll link these in the description. Another way you can do it actually is opening up a terminal and typing in sudo apt-get install wine semicolon sudo apt-get install play on Linux. And that will, I mean, obviously for me, it won't install anything because I have them already, but that will install both Wine and PlayOnLinux. So once they've been installed, once you've installed both Wine and PlayOnLinux and you've downloaded the steam.exe, you're going to want to open up PlayOnLinux. You can make sure Wine's installed correctly by opening up Wine CFG and PlayOnLinux. And once PlayOnLinux is opened up, you should see something fairly similar to this. So I'm just going to try and fly through this because I'm under a bit of a time constraint with YouTube. So I'll try and explain as best I can as we go along. So you're going to hit install a non-listed program, and you might get a few other pop-ups if it's your first time of using it. But if not, just follow this. It's install a new program in a new virtual drive. Then you're going to name your folder. This is, like I say, this is going to be the name of the folder in the drive. So I'm going to call this. What am I doing? I'm going to call this Steam World at War _test. Right. Okay. So I'll tick all these just so we can blaze through them quickly. Use another version of Wine, configure Wine, and install some libraries. So this is the use another version of Wine. I'm using 1.7 at the moment. Like I say, this is July 2nd, 2015. I'm not really sure when anyone, if ever, will be ever watching this video, but like I say, the version I'm using is 1.7 and it works fine. But if you had other versions of Wine installed, this is where they'd be. If you had another game that worked better under a different version for whatever reason, hit the 32-bit. Always the 32-bit. It's then going to make the drive for you. Like I said, that's what it was asking for the name of it, because you'll now have your PlayOnLinux virtual drives, and in here we have Steam World at War test. So that's what we've just made. Your Wine configuration for that virtual drive will pop up. As I'm installing World at War, I'm going to go with Windows 7. This is just the one that I find better. This is obviously up to most of this is up to you guys. The thing that's essential here, go to libraries and look for dwrite, because you need to edit it and disable it. So find it up in your libraries, add it, edit it, and then disable it and hit apply. What this does is it fixes a bug where there's no text on Steam. I don't know, like I say, I'm not sure when anyone's going to be watching this, but at the moment there is a bug where if you run Steam through Wine, text doesn't show up, and it makes it impossible to log in. So disabling this disables that bug. I'm not really sure how, but it does. Head over to graphics, emulate a virtual desktop. I choose a 1600 by 900 virtual desktop. The reason I do this is if the game crashes, you've just got to close a virtual desktop. You haven't got to close a full screen application that's on your desktop, because obviously running it without a virtual desktop will try and run it as an actual program popping up as Steam rather than a virtual desktop, obviously. I knocked my screen resolution up a little bit. My monitor's quite small, my resolution is quite high, and my eyesight's terrible, so I adjust this up a little bit so I can see a bit better. You can obviously do this to your own preference. These three things here, I have these all ticked, but we'll probably come back to these three things in a little bit, so don't worry about that. Just hit apply and hit OK. It's now going to ask you for the libraries you want to install. This is again where I'm new to Linux. A bit of your own insight or common sense might be able to beat me here quite easily, because I want to install DirectX 9, so I find this PlayOnLinux install D3DX9, which I'm pretty certain is DirectX 9, but there's also, if you scroll down a little bit, PlayOnLinux install DirectX 9, so I just tick both of them and install them. It's then going to pop up with your virtual drive and install those libraries to it. Um, it doesn't take very long at all. Like I say, I mean, there might even be libraries in there that would be better than those. There might even be libraries that would, work on top of those. So if you, like I say, use your own incentive, do a bit of googling, and you'll probably be able to find an awesome answer. This is okay. It's going to ask you to select the setup file to run. So this is where the steam.exe comes in. And for the longest time, you guys probably know exactly what you're doing here. So just click next. Don't change the destination folder and untick run Steam. Don't let it run. For the longest time, I was trying to figure out where I would find the setups for each one of these games if they're on Steam, because obviously I've bought my games online on Steam, so I never had a disc or a setup or anything. So, but I was being an idiot. I realised that you can just install Steam and install the game each way on that one. So after it's done that, it's going to pop up asking if you want to make a shortcut. So I mean, I tend to do. Make sure it's the steam.exe, and then this is going to be the name of what it's going to the shortcut that's going to be called in a desktop. So I'm just going to keep it the same as the folder. Obviously, it's made a shortcut here and here. I don't want to make another shortcut, so hit next. I'll just delete this off the desktop really. So another thing you can do, if you look up an icon for your game, you can right click and set an icon, and I have this little hidden icon folder here, and you can set it to be whatever game it is that you're installing. That way you can kind of but like I say, that's not essential. So right, this is what obviously you'll probably call yours something like this, not test, but this is the one that we've installed together. So I'm gonna hit run. It's gonna pop up. It's obviously it's a new virtual drive, so it's gonna have to update Steam, get all the downloads it needs for it. But as you can see already, there's it's a 100 megabyte download, and it reminds me that I believe that each time you install another drive, it's about half a gig without a game. So just bear that in mind if you haven't got a big hard drive, or you don't want to be wasted. Like if you have like 20 games installed, that's already like, it would easily be 20 gig for those 20 games, regardless of how if they're under a gig or not, because of the way this is set up. Anyway, just something to bear in mind. This happens quite a lot when you install a new drive. PlayOnLinux says it's crashed. I just click cancel. It hasn't. It's pretty harsh in itself. The Steam box should pop up. If this is all blank and you haven't got any text, then welcome to the dwrite bug. Just go back and start again. Basically, delete the virtual drive. But if you see this, that's good. Log into an existing account. I'm gonna okay, cool. I was gonna say there is a bug that happens on this sometimes where you can't type, and I'll show you. You just need to right click on it and left click on it on the text box, and then you'll be able to type. The first time you log in, it will probably say, hey, this is a new computer, if you have SteamGuard on, which you really should do if you don't. So I'm just gonna write I'm ready. VX249. You won't have to do this every time. You'll have to type in your password, obviously, unless you tick remember me. But if you sorry, I just had a text message and it really threw me off guard. If you don't have remember me ticked, you'll only ever have to type in your password. You won't have to verify it every time, unless you set it up that way. Okay, so now I'm going to go click on World at War, install, click next. I'm actually not going to install this because this is obviously like a test drive. I've already got this installed, but we'll jump over to that in a minute. As I said, I'm going to close this down quickly, but as I said, you would install this, and I'm going to now jump over to the installed drive. But as I said, for most games that you find platinum rated on PlayOnLinux, on Wine, this will work. As I said, I've done exactly the same with Final Fantasy VII and Oblivion and Chaos 3. I've just chosen World at War at random of the games to install. So I'm just going to log in again. Again, this is the bug I'm telling you about. I'm clicking in here and it's not working. So if you right click and left click, it fixes that. The reason why I make such a point of mentioning that is because it took me so long, an embarrassingly long time to work that out. As you can see, it's not asking me to verify, go to my email, it's just asking me for my password. So two things to bear in mind. I go offline, and I also, I mean, this is a must really for all the games. Don't have the Steam overlay enabled, because having it enabled, it doesn't matter if someone messages you or if you try and bring it up and message someone. Just having this enabled crashes the game, and it took me again quite a long time to figure out what was causing a crash. I just assumed that Wine or PlayOnLinux or the game that I was trying to install just wasn't compatible and it was crashing. But it turns out it was the Steam overlay that was actually crashing. Another thing to mention. Right now it hasn't crashed. It's a black screen because the videos, at least for multiplayer, don't work. The cutscenes. But after a little while, I think it tries to play them, and after a little while, bam, you're in World at War. One thing to mention, if you can change most of your graphics. All of these, I've turned these off just because they don't really do anything for me. But you can change most of these without a problem, and you'll hit back and that's on. They're all changed. But for your resolution, your video mode as it's called here, and pretty much anything above the brightness bar, you need to be careful of, and I'd recommend not changing in the game. Instead, I'll show you how to change those in a minute in your folder, because each time I change these, for me, it crashes the game and it doesn't change the resolution, so it's worthless. So I'm just going to quickly find the game. One thing to note, I've filtered the servers. I've turned Punkbuster off, and I've turned mods off as well, because every time I've downloaded a mod, or connected to a server that has mods on it, it crashes Wine, which is understandable. It's probably trying to find stuff that's not there. And as for Punkbuster, I can get on the servers and I can play on it fine, and Punkbuster installs without a problem when you're installing World at War. But some servers kick me out, and it's kind of getting a bit annoying. So I've just turned it off. I figure if I jump on a server and there's a cheater, I'll just leave, So I'm going to jump on the game quickly, very quickly, because I'm trying not to take too long doing all this, just so that we can see what this looks like. One other problem you might have is not being able to move. This has happened to me right now. I can't move. So if that happens, you can hit Alt. As I said, you're in an emulated desktop, so it shouldn't affect too much. Hit Alt and Alt again, and you should be able to run. If this doesn't work, another thing that you can do is Alt-Tab out, and I say you can Alt-Tab out, I'm actually struggling quite a bit here. Wait, actually no, yeah. You can Alt-Tab out, click your directory, hit Configure, go to Wine, configure Wine, and this is where I said we come back to these. If you untick these, and then tick them again, it should work. But like I said, having it in a virtual desktop and hitting Alt, it fixes it. So, oh my god, the Germans are going down. Let's just go down and get killed. Oh, I see a German. Oh, I'm an absolute idiot. I don't know what I was doing there. But as you can see, it looks nice. It runs well. I'm recording it as well, so you kind of, if there is a bit of stutter, it's probably from that, not the game itself. Let's get this guy right here. Oh, the skill, the spray and pay skill. Yeah, so it runs really well with this said. So I'm just going to also lastly quickly show you how to where to find your config folder for World at War. So I'm just going to close mine. So as I said, if you want to change your resolution, I'm going to have to fly through this really quickly, but you can probably pause and go back. Find your PlayOnLinux virtual drives. Mine's Steam World at War, Drive C, users, uTuner, that's my username. Local settings, application data, Activision, CoDWaW at War, players, profiles, your player name, and then you need to find the config multiplayer. It's called config_mp.cfg. And there you'll find setter R mode, and that's your resolution. There's a few other things in here, like I said, the gamma and the full screen. You can pretty much change everything in this. This is why this game is so awesome, because you can change this stuff without getting banned or being seen as a cheat or anything. But as I said, there's your anti-aliasing samples and aspect ratio, all that stuff's there. So just use a bit of common sense. A bit of googling will also help you figure out exactly what those things are. But any questions you get, any issues you have, feel free to message me. As I said, what we've just done, I've just installed it for World at War, but this should work for all these games. This is exactly the same for all these other games as well. So if you have any other old school games that are kind of around the same age as these games, you'll probably find that they work fine doing it exactly like this, if you wanted to. So I hope this helps someone out there. I hope someone found some use for this. So and like I said, any problems, feel free to send me a message and I'll try my best to help. Thanks and good luck.